Oke, kayaknya udah live deh. Ya, hari ini kita akan mempelajari AMA nomor 22 Holo ataupun Holo Chain yang kemarin mereka lakukan jam 1 malam ya. Jam 1 pagi waktu Indonesia Barat, semalam malam. Jadi hari ini baru saya bisa baca, baru saya bisa dengar lah. Jadi ini pertama kali gue belum dengar lagi. Nanti setelah dengar seperti biasa gue akan bikin catatan di situ. Tapi gue pengen kasih tahu dulu sama kawan kita bahwanya sudah live. Live. Dah message ke grup. Lanjut, kita dengarkan videonya. Let's start the boring day. 1 jam.
All right. Hello everybody. Thank you and welcome to Holo and Holo Chain Ask Me Anything AMA number 22.
Nomor 22.
It is Thursday, February 8th. No, 7th. I'm getting ahead. Jumping into the future. My apologies. The structure for today, we're going to start with some intros, some thank yous, some announcements and updates. We're then going to dive into some frequently asked questions and then get to the live AMAs, the questions that you guys are posing in the moment. All right, diving straight in. Tremendous gratitude to our community leaders, volunteers, contributors, and organizers. Thank you for gifting the community with your hard work, whether it's creating developer resources, chat moderation, and community engagement, organizing events, or helping us share our story on social media, various online channels, or in real life. I'd also like to send out a special message to all of our communities that are celebrating their new year. Happy Lunar Chinese New Year. 2019 is the year of the pig. We hope that 2019 brings you abundance and prosperity, your belly stuffed, wallet full of red envelopes, and heart bursting with love and joy. Some quick intros for the folks that are on the call today.
Okay.
I'm Matthew Schutte, the Director of Communications. I'm here with Mary Camacho, our Executive Director for Holo, as well as David Atkinson, the Commercial Director for Holo. Some announcements. We have several events and meetups scheduled for the first quarter of 2019. ETH Denver is going to be February 15th through 17th. We'll be participating in that. Our third DevCamp, online DevCamp, number 3, is planned for February 18 through 22nd. You can register at holo.host/camp, and we'll put that link into the chat as well. The Melbourne meetup, which is organized by community members, will be on February 19th in Melbourne, Australia. The New York City meetup is happening on February 25th at 6 p.m. We'll drop that link into the chat as well. And the Barcelona meetup is happening on February 27th. Again, we'll be dropping links into the chat for all of those. If you'd like to join a meetup community, look for a city or region-specific channel on our chat channel at chat.holochain.org. If you don't find one, you can organize your own. We recommend starting by first creating a chat channel for your city or region, and then be sure to announce it on the announcements channel. We'd also be happy to help connect you with other organizers and to provide guidance where needed. Please email events@holo.host. Again, that's events@holo.host. Eric Bear will be happy to help you.
Masih sama lah pengumuman sama yang kemarin.
A few words before we dig into the questions. Mary, can you give us a little bit of an update on some of the stuff we've been sharing recently in our blog?
You bet. Hi everyone, and welcome again to today's AMA. So if you've been reading some of the Holo posts lately, we've been talking a little bit about something different, the cryptographic autonomous license. It's gone through a couple of iterations. And it's the license that we're actually going to be using for Holochain. So I just wanted to kind of call attention to that real quickly. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail here because that's all already in the posts. But what I really want to say about this is, you know, it's a lot like standard open source licenses, which makes sense for what we're creating here in the sense that you can use and distribute it. But what's so distinctive and that I just want to make sure that everybody keeps hearing is that this is the first time you're seeing a software license that includes a protection for end users. And that is completely, it's completely innovative, and it's what we think really defines open. So if you have questions about that tonight, let us know. We're happy to take them and try to get you answers about it if it comes up.
Yeah, and for those who aren't familiar, you can get to our blog and all of those posts by going, the easiest way is holo.host and then click the blog link. Okay.
Testing.
Diving straight into our FAQs, questions that people have been posing to us in the last couple of weeks in Telegram, Reddit, our chat channels on Mattermost, etc. First up, what does it take to build a truly decentralized and distributed internet where users own their data? Can the team explain what that looks like on Holochain? Mary, do you want to take this one?
Well, I'll take a stab at it. So I'm sure I'm not going to answer all of what's wanted in this question, but let's just start to get on the same page and make sure we go over a little bit what Holochain is, then what Holo is, and also for good measure, we'll tack on at the end what Holoports are. I know most of you guys listening to this know it, but I think it's important to distinguish. So Holochain is a framework for building applications, for creating and actually running those applications. It's a data integrity engine for distributed apps. And that means it enables patterns required for distributed applications where the users are the focus and where the data is inherently associated to a user. That's my version in a nutshell of Holochain. Holo is a distributed cloud hosting platform that works as a marketplace where one side is the hosts and the...
Wait. Holo ialah distributed. Distributed cloud platform yang berjalan di atas Holochain. Jadi dia ngomong lagi, dia mau jelaskan lagi perbedaannya apa Holochain, Holo, dan Holoport.
Side is the developers or the publishers of apps. And Holo is much more than a marketplace, though. It enables, or what it allows is for Holochain apps, which inherently aren't reliant on a network, or a specific form of network, rather, but it allows Holochain applications to connect to the current version of the internet. So it gives a bridge.
Stop. Oke, jadi Holo ialah distributed cloud platform yang berjalan di atas Holochain. Ya seperti marketplace ya, karena dia membenarkan aplikasi-aplikasi Holochain, aplikasi Holochain untuk terkoneksi ke internet browser. Jadi sangat penting ya Holo nih. Kalau tanpa ada Holo, udahlah kalian nggak bisa pakai aplikasi yang di Holochain itu seperti kita pakai internet. Oke, kita bagi-bagikan dulu. Holochain adalah framework untuk membangun aplikasi secara distributed. Distributed, you know, is like decentralized. Sedangkan aku harap Anda tahu apa artinya distributed ya. Okay.
Bridge, so to speak, so that people who prefer self-hosting on one hand can connect within an application to people who may not yet care about the distributed side of it, may not have it installed, but can access through a browser. So regardless of whether a user is accessing a Holochain app directly installed or self-hosted or via web browser, they have control of their own seeds and their keys such that they are really truly controlling their identity and their own data. So I know that wasn't really the question, sorry. Yeah. But what does it take to build it? That's awesome question. We're working to make these things easier and easier within an application. It enables, or what it allows is for Holochain apps, which inherently aren't reliant on a network or a specific form of network, rather, but it allows Holochain applications to connect to the current version of the internet. So it gives a bridge, so to speak, so that people who prefer self-hosting on one hand, can connect within an application to people who may not yet care about the distributed side of it, may not have it installed, but can access through a browser. So regardless of whether a user is accessing a Holochain app directly installed or, or self-hosted or via web browser, they have control of their own seeds and their keys such that they are really, truly controlling their identity and their own data. So I know that wasn't really the question, sorry. But what does it take to build it? That's awesome question. We're working to make these things easier and easier for developers to build the apps on Holochain and to have that data integrity. Part of that is developing what we call core apps, and these include things like deep key, as well as personas and other modules.
Oke. Untuk memudahkan para developer membangun aplikasi di atas Holochain, mereka memperkenalkanlah beberapa tools ya, beberapa tools atau fitur. Balik sedikit ya, balik sedikit.
What does it take to build it? That's awesome question. We're working to make these things easier and easier for developers to build the apps on Holochain and to have that data integrity. Part of that is developing what we call core apps, and these
antara lain memperkenalkan sebuah tools yang disebut core apps. Wow.
These include things like deep key.
Seperti contoh deep key lah, lalu apa lagi?
As well as personas and other modules that people can use directly in different applications. Also, we're building what we're calling core components, and these are more generalized snippets, components that can be...
Setelah itu ada lagi yang disebut core component. Oke. Wow, sangat ribet, men. Untuk memudahkan para developer membangun di atas Holochain, mereka bukan tools lah, panggil tools salah. Panggil tools salah nggak ya? Sesebuah tools, sesebuah konsep, sesuatu alat, adalah biarlah tools sajalah.
Used in different ways. For example, the same data component you might use for a chat message could also be used in a comment section on a site. And what's important about this is to really get that this is a bit the back end side of your stack. On the front end, you can still build in all the business logic you want for using any form of, web application tool set that you really like. So if you're a React developer, build it in React. That's great. It really is that we're not limiting the entire front to back stack. We're saying that we're this data integrity engine that is both distributed and able to connect to the internet.
Balik.
We're building what we're calling core components, and these are more generalized snippets, components that can be used in different ways. For example, the same data component you might use for a chat message could also be used in a comment section on a site. And what's important about this is to really get that this is a bit the back end side of your stack. On the front end, you can still build in all the business logic you want for using any form.
Oke, yang membenarkan ini core component yang membenarkan para developer membangun apa saja bisnis logic dalam bentuk apapun. Apapun yang dia kehendaki. Itulah bahasa developer ya. Oke, good luck with that.
Form of web application tool set that you really like. So if you're a React developer, build it in React. That's great. It really is that we're not limiting the entire front to back stack. We're saying that we're this data integrity engine that is both distributed and able to connect to the internet.
Awesome. Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, thank you.
The next question we have is, will a node be blacklisted if an error occurs in data storage? I'll go ahead and take this one. So first off, quality of service is going to be tracked in the closed alpha that we're about to do, but minimally and without consequences. The closed alpha is for Holo, our peer-to-peer web hosting marketplace. We're about to take our first steps in doing a little bit of a trial. There will be a limited group of people that are using it. So quality of service tracking, how good a job each node is doing, is going to be minimal at first. There's still work and thought to be put into this area, but ultimately, a single storage corruption or transmission error should not greatly harm a node's reliability metrics.
Oh, okay.
As that part of Holo matures, or quality of service metrics, it'll work like this. As a node's history of low quality or poor reliability increases, right? If this node is really doing a poor job consistently, the node's tranche assignment will be affected. In other words, they'd earn a poor reputation. And particular purchasers of hosting services may choose not to make use of it because they only want to rely upon hosts in higher tranches, hosts that have built a certain reputation.
Oke, jadi ini ngomong-ngomong tentang reputasi ataupun kerisauan ya, ada orang tanya ya, kalau sebuah node itu, sebuah node lah ya, orang yang jalan holoport ataupun sebuah hosting menjalankan kerja yang jelek gitu ya loh, nggak berkualitas, apakah mempengaruhi keseluruhan holochain? Apakah mereka itu akan kena blacklist atau gimana? Jadi dia bilang nggak gitu pengaruh ya, karena alasannya ialah mereka punya sistem reputasi. Jadi kalau misalnya kita pikir kayak logika gitulah, logika gitu, kok kamu jelek, kamu reputasi kamu nggak bagus, kualitas kamu nggak bagus, ya orang kan nggak akan pakai kamu punya jasa gitu loh. Jadi seperti ini maksudnya, saatnya menulis ke sini. Gimana tulis? Semuanya pada awalnya itu kan karena dia terbuka, kan close alpha itu kan cuma terbuka untuk para holoporter yang sudah beli apa, sudah beli kan. Jadi sudah beli pula, sudah order. Jadi hal ini kalau di awal-awal itu nggak gitu terlalu penting kali masalah ini, kata dia. Lebih kurang kayak gitulah. Kita konklusikan aja lah ya untuk poin kedua. Ada sistem reputasi. Ini pun sudah pernah kita bahas sih, cuman ya gitulah, tulis lagi lah. Ada sistem reputasi dalam node. Ada mekanisme reputasi dalam operasional node. Operasional node. Oke. Jika sebuah node tidak melakukan kerja yang berkualitas baik, maka metrik reputasinya akan jelek gitulah ya. Dan secara logika orang-orang tidak akan menggunakan layanan hostingnya. Oke. Jadi sebenarnya kualitas para node ya tidak sebegitu, bukan tidak sama sekali ya, cuma tidak sebegitu mempengaruhi operasional Holo. Oke. Balik sedikit untuk dengar kembali untuk make sure gue nggak salah. Balik lagi ya.
Node's history of low quality or poor reliability increases, right? If this node is really doing a poor job consistently, the node's tranche assignment will be affected. In other words, they'd earn a poor reputation. And particular purchasers of hosting services may choose not to make use of it because they only want to rely upon hosts in higher tranches, hosts that have built a certain reputation for reliability. Now that pattern can be reversed if whatever hardware or software problems that have been causing that poor reliability are rectified, or in other words, if this host starts to demonstrate that they are consistently delivering good service. But that's the basic gist. So will a single error result in you being booted entirely? No. But we're trying to create mechanisms that enable.
Jadi sebenarnya kualitas para node atau jadi pertanyaannya ialah apakah jika sebuah node error, ataupun melakukan kerja yang buruk, apakah ia mempengaruhi keseluruhan network Holo? Jawabannya ialah tidak. Next.
Feedback so that our community can better sense and steer.
Okay.
All right. Third question. Which version of the Linux kernel is Holo using? This is a deeply geeky question. We'll try to do it quickly. On the Holo port and Holo port Plus, we're currently using the stable release of Nixos 18.09, which is pegged.
Ayo. Holo port dan Holo port Plus. Ini Holo port ya, mesin ya. Harus kasih mesin, nanti dikiranya apa itu. Mesin Holo port Plus menggunakan apa tadi bilang Linux berapa? Aduh, ini gua nggak paham Linux ya, malah ngomong Linux.
Port Plus, we're currently using the stable release of Nixos 18.09, which is pegged to Linux 4.14.97. On the Nano, we're working with kernel 4.20-RC7, which will move to a stable release 4.20.7, most likely next week. These kernel versions will move forward to at least track with security releases.
Oke lah, kesimpulan aja. Mesin Holo port dan Holo port lah, Holo port Plus lah, lalu dan Nano lah, itu menggunakan kernel yang stabil. firmware, kita panggil firmware. Yang stabil, firmware. Entah Linux atau segala mana, stabil lah pokoknya menggunakan yang stabil aja lah gitu, dan akan diupdate lah secara berkala gitu. Oke, lanjut nomor 4 aja. Go.
Next up. This is framed in standard Telegram ease. Win roadmap with dates. Win mainnet. Why are there no dates on the milestone map? Mary, do you want to take this one?
Okay, sure. This question comes up all the time. And the thing is, creating real innovation is a very complex path filled with twists and turns, guys. It's in every software, hardware project, especially with networking, it has complexities and it takes time. A roadmap that has those dates, stretching out into the future with all of them lined up with months and days associated to them, it might feel great. But if it's only a wish list rather than like a real guide and accurate guidance on expectations, that's not really useful. And for us, we're really seeking to be trustworthy in how we communicate this. We've done some forecasts in the past already. I mean, for example, with Holo port delivery, and we didn't hit it. It doesn't feel good for us, and it doesn't feel good for our stakeholders. So we've learned from that. We're going to try to avoid that. We know it's a standard mistake. People demand dates, companies provide them. But usually that doesn't work well. It kind of creates pressure on the inside to create solutions that aren't as good. And what we're committed to is having high quality solutions when we deliver them. So we are basically, we are communicating what we are confident about. And that's the sequence of events and releases that we've shared so far. And become more confident on the delivery dates for each step, we will communicate those. We are confident at this point about our, delivering the Holo closed alpha testnet beginning this month. And that's what we've shared, and that's what we're going to begin doing later this month.
Oke, jadi masih banyak bejibun pertanyaan tentang roadmap. Haha, biasalah ya. When roadmap, when mainnet gitu kan. Jadi ini sudah bahas pada EMM sebelumnya. Mau tulis lagi nggak? Malas gua tulis lagi, kamu tengok sendiri. Cuman yang mereka yakini dan yang mereka yakini, oke, dapat dilaksanakan ialah apa nih namanya, tes apa tadi bilang, alpha close, ialah alpha close testnet. Yang terjadi pada bulan ini, oke, pada bulan Februari ini. Oke, jadi ini sudah yakin, oke, akan terjadi di bulan Februari 2019. Ini alpha close testnet. Jadi kita para Holo porter yang sudah order mendapatkan shipping akan dikirim, lalu kita udah bisa langsung pakai untuk tes ya pada bulan Februari 2019 ini. Dan yang yakini dapat diskon ialah, oke.
And later this month we'll probably have some more details about what's coming after that, but it's really going to be an iterative path for us.
Awesome. Thank you, Mary. Next question. Does the org have a CEO? Is it Mary? Art? What is the organizational structure, philosophy, decision-making process? Nice, short, brief question. I'm going to put this one back to you again, Mary.
Sure. I think I'm going to start at the bottom of this question and go backwards, rather. So decision-making happens with every person in every team, in informal groups. Within Holo and Holochain. And the reality is that the same human influence processes that work in families, schoolyards, companies, governments, they're all at play here, okay? As a company, Holo's incorporated in Gibraltar. I'm the executive director here, and David is officially our second director. We have formal and informal organizational structures and protocols, including an executive team, and that executive team is myself, David, and our founders, Arthur and Eric. Some of the ways we've looked at this is that we're, essentially we're birthing a product and we're tending or gardening an ecosystem of applications. And our orientation to this, well, let me say this. Our orientation is different depending on who you ask to some degree, but in general is that we think it can't be done with simply a top-down decision-making. We have a strong orientation to self-directed work in collaborative and aligned settings. And we hope to move more and more and more of the governance of Holo, and especially Holochain, into decentralized mechanisms, but still being responsible for the ways that Holo is bridging to, both to a distributed world and also to the current centralized world. So it's complex. We don't have the traditional hierarchical view, but there is leadership, and there are people who have say at different stages, but there's a lot of work happening all over the organization by people who are very, very much self-directed.
Oke. Balik sedikit ya, gue mau dengar tentang apa nih tempatnya tuh.
I think I'm going to start at the bottom of this question and go backwards, rather. So decision-making happens with every person in every team, in informal groups, within Holo and Holochain. And the reality is that the same human influence processes that work in families, schoolyards, companies, governments, they're all at play here, okay? As a company, Holo's incorporated in Gibraltar.
Oke, dalam halnya dia punya perusahaan, jadi perusahaan Holo itu berbasis di Gibraltar dan itu sudah legal lah ya pokoknya. Jadi cuma itu aja sih, nggak ada. Ini ngomong-ngomong tentang dia punya tim lah, struktur tim lah, bagaimana mereka membuat keputusan lah. Dan kebanyakan daripada mereka itu kayak setiap orang memiliki gimana bilangnya, self thinking ya gitu ya, karena sangat banyak pekerjaan yang terjadi di situ loh, di Holochain loh. Jadi mereka mempunyai, seorang pasti memiliki keputusan dia sendiri, tapi meskipun begitu ya tetap ada kolaborasi antara satu dengan dua dan masing-masing juga bertanggung jawab gitu loh. Tunggu, aku mau pikir dulu gimana nulis nih. Berbicara tentang struktur organisasinya, seorang di tim mereka saling berkolaborasi untuk membuat keputusan. Dan sangat banyak aktivitas lah yang terjadi dalam organisasi mereka. Oke. Setiap hari banyak aktivitas. Sedangkan perusahaan Holo Incorporation Inc ya, gitu ya. Nggak tahu ya satu atau enggak ya, mereka lebih seperti itu secara legal berbasis di Gibraltar. Oke.
Director here, and David is officially our second director. We have formal and informal organizational structures and protocols, including an executive team, and that executive team is myself, David, and our founders, Arthur and Eric. Some of the ways we've looked at this is that we're, essentially we're birthing a product and we're tending or gardening an ecosystem of applications. And our orientation to this, well, let me say this. Our orientation is different depending on who you ask to some degree, but in general is that we think it can't be done with simply a top-down decision-making. We have a strong orientation to self-directed work in collaborative and aligned settings. And we hope to move more and more and more of the governance of Holo, and especially Holochain, into decentralized mechanisms, but still being responsible for the ways that Holo is bridging to, both to a distributed world and also to the current centralized world. So it's complex. We don't have the traditional hierarchical view, but there is leadership, and there are people who have say at different stages. But there's a lot of work happening all over the organization by people who are very, very much self-directed.
Just jump in for 1 second, because I get this question. I'd like to build on something Mary said. That it's always interesting to me in the decentralized world when people ask who is the CEO of the organization, because as we all know, we're here to build decentralized architecture, and one of the reasons for doing that is the resiliency of the architecture. And to build decentralized architecture and businesses and then have a single point of failure built in, like a CEO, seems like a very, very strange choice. Now that we may end up with CEOs in many of our businesses, we may not, but it is an interesting way and an interesting framing of the question. And as Mary said, we've actually chosen to have an executive team model, which while there is a concentration of decision-making there, it's one step already more resilient than having a CEO.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you both.
Jadi sebenarnya dia bilang kan ada CEO atau nggak ada CEO, itu sebenarnya pertanyaan yang sedikit tricky lah ya dalam dunia blockchain, karena orang tanya, wah kamu Ethereum, CEO-mu siapa gitu loh. Jadi dia bilang mereka punya format itu dalam organisasi seperti ada semacam eksekutif gitu loh. Jadi sebenarnya CEO itu sendiri nggak terlalu berperan, maksudnya nggak terlalu menginfluence keseluruhan kerja, karena setiap masing-masing mereka mempunyai keahlian dia sendiri-sendiri kan. Jadi sama juga kayak CZ kan, di Binance itu loh, CEO Binance dia sering ngomong kok kayak gitu, bahwanya orang menganggap dia yang membuat keputusan semua di Binance kan. Padahal enggak, dia bilang kan. Padahal yang membuat keputusan ini itu mau lakukan ini itu, mau lakukan sana sini ya, mau bikin ini itu, sebenarnya itu dari anak buahnya juga gitu loh. Jadi ya semacam itulah maksudnya. Lanjut.
Okay, next question from Reddit. Do people really care about having control over their own data? If they own their own data, should they try to find ways to monetize it? David, you want to take this?
Sure. Yeah, we we do get this. Some of the folks in our community telling us that the popularity and ongoing popularity of Facebook and Google and their research indicate people don't really care whether or not they control their own data. But I disagree. People can dislike something and still participate in it.
Ya, memang sih.
I think some of today's applications, they're a little bit akin to being in an abusive relationship. Yes, they're incredibly useful, and yes, we rely on them, but it doesn't mean we love everything about them, and it doesn't mean that a lot of them, of what we experience with them, is healthy. I think that the reality is that when people find that having access to and control over their own data lets them accomplish much more with less effort, it's going to lead to a significant shift.
Okay.
The second part of that question, should people try and monetize their data? I think it depends on the situation. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to give someone else access to their information? Are they giving someone control over what they see and what they won't see? In other words, are they losing control over their own life in a way that matters to them? Or are they gaining power, gaining control? The sort of loss of agency, of losing control, is widespread today, and it's very problematic. The fact that you might get paid a few dollars for such a huge loss of autonomy, it feels like a pretty poor trade-off. I think what we're experiencing is that people are relating to it as a direct trade-off, but there's so many compounding effects over this loss of autonomy and a loss of control. It doesn't mean that sharing information is bad at all. It doesn't mean that getting paid to share information is a bad thing. But there are clearly situations where compensation gained won't come close to the actual costs incurred by the individual. So I think at the stage where we're just at the beginnings of understanding what this loss of control really means and what the opportunities are both to regain control and potentially benefit financially and non-financially from ownership of data.
Okay.
I'd like to kind of throw a couple 2 cents in on this one too. You know, I get this concern. I really think it's valid because it's about adoption, right? I don't think that social media is necessarily the first big place where Holochain may be used in that regard. I agree. There are a lot of people who seemingly, and we can try to speak to their motivations, and we may get it right or not, but they're not aware of, or they don't seem to care about giving their data away. You know, as David said, I do think also that the tides are probably changing on that. And what I think is important to note about Holochain on this is that we're poised to be ready for large social media apps on Holochain when that tipping point hits. And I still think it's going to take somebody creating the right social media app that does what people really want in the connection with others. That's what's important. And right now, where some of these current social media apps have done well is that they've given a particular experience of connecting to people that people wanted. And that's important to realize because you certainly aren't going to make them go away by offering an application that doesn't meet those needs and more, okay? So putting all that aside, I also think there's a lot of places where the benefits of Holochain are immediately useful in large ways. Data immutability is a pattern for applications that's very important for a lot of applications. Repeating myself here, but in contrast to blockchain, Holochain really enables the development of, I don't know, real world, complex, fully scalable applications with user controlled and connected data that is immutable. Not just, I'm going to make a financial transaction and I want to know and I want everyone else to know that I just made that transaction. That's actually pretty straightforward. I'm talking about complex applications, things that are dealing with, like we talked about on the last AMA, like your medical records and services being provided, real estate, all sorts of different things that people are making interactions with, transactions on, that are not as straightforward as just, I'm sending somebody money. I think, kind of getting back to the other part of the question around compensation, around users using their data, I think it's going to be answered by the market and by people, right? And it has been so far. We can say that we're kind of holding people's arms behind their back, twisting them into doing that. But the reality is, if I go and I fill out a form where somebody's saying they're going to give away, $1 million or a car or a trip, and I have to fill out my form and put it in a box with my information, I know that is basically them paying me for that information. That I may not win that car, but I've basically, the opportunity to win that car is what I just got compensated with. The thing is the benefit, it comes in all different sorts of forms, and it's not always monetary. And that's going to continue to evolve in new patterns and new ways with Holochain, because not everything is money. And that's super important, because you can actually come up with new ways of we call it compensation, but that's making up for something, and I don't want to use that term in this point, but reputation is building something very important, and that's something that people will use. We were just describing how it was going to make a difference how hosts would be selected earlier, when Matt was talking about what happens when somebody's service degrades on their Holoport. It can happen, and that will be about reputation. So it can have multiple effects, not these feedback loops. So I'm going on and on. I'll stop and move on to the questions that people are asking. But thanks for letting me chime in.
Oke, jadi ini mereka sebenarnya ngomong-ngomong pertanyaannya yang ialah tentang data gitu loh. Mengapa ada orang tanya kan, mengapa kamu rasa data itu penting kamu kontrol sendiri kan? Padahal kalau kita tengok kan, kayak kita sekarang pakai Facebook, pakai Instagram, pakai segala macam, kita ya patu-patu aja. Kamu mau data saya ya ambil aja gitu loh kan. Meskipun kadang bisa kesel juga gitu. Aduh, kenapa? Kadang kita sendiri risau juga kan. Aduh, Instagram punya data saya. Aduh, saya mau apa nih? Mau dapat undian apa? Mau mencoba nasib apa? Bukan mencoba. Mau coba dapat apa nih, hadiah gitu, gue harus isi data-data saya. Jadi sebenarnya dia bilang ada dua pendapat ya. Pendapat satu bilang enggak, data itu kalau kamu bisa mengkontrol data kamu ya justru itu kan lebih bagus kan, di samping kamu bisa menggunakan aplikasi yang berguna. Kalau perempuan ini, Mary ini ngomong itu tergantung situasi gitu loh. Kadang ada orang yang berpikir saya kasih kamu data saya dengan harapan saya mendapatkan benefit gitu. Ya itu ya lain lagi ceritanya. Sebenarnya di sini dia juga ada ngomong di samping ngomong tentang data, dia ngomong tentang dia punya perspektif terhadap Holochain. Dan saya tuliskan dalam poin ini, yaitu sebagaimana arsitektur Holochain itu dirancang ya, bagaimana Holochain ini ada ya. Ia sebenarnya dapat mensupport aplikasi yang skala besar, oke. Bahkan jauh lebih rumit aplikasi dapat dia bangun di atasnya berbanding kita bangun di atas blockchain. Oke, jadi nanti akan ada waktunya, dia bilang akan ada waktunya, akan ada momennya. Sudah tentu nggak sekarang, akan ada waktunya di kemudian hari. Dunia akan berevolusi lah, karena pada saat itu orang-orang akan mulai menggunakan aplikasi di mana mereka dapat mengkontrol data mereka sendiri gitu loh. privacy mereka sendiri. Jadi dunia akan berevolusi dengan hadirnya holochain. Wah, keren kan? Oke, gue mau baca ini dulu, tengok ada yang salah ketik gak? Kalimatnya ada terdengar aneh gak nih ya? Sebagaimana ya kan dapat mensupport aplikasi dan bahkan yang lebih khusus berbanding kita menggunakan blockchain. Oke, sip, keren. Lanjut.
Thanks, Mary. We did have another sort of related question there. How can user data be utilized to be mutually beneficial for the end user and for the platform or app they're using? And Mary kind of touched on this quite a bit already in what her comments she just made. But David, do you want to say anything else on this particular tension?
Yeah, it's one I'm really passionate about, because with holochain, we're seeking to find ways to enable people to enter into patterns of relationship that they find really healthy and vibrant and desirable. And this can take many forms. But there's one major pattern that I don't think anybody else has got right, that we're seeking to enable, which is one where an application is run by and for the users themselves. So you think about that. That means that any of the applications you're running today that you love, imagine that you could also be running that application instead of them in server farms and all sorts of things. You could be part of the ecosystem by running the application. It's a huge shift, right? Huge shift away from the current paradigm where the owners of an application and the people that are using that application are separate.
Yeah.
Context will differ, but in general, there have been many ways, given this shift, where the sharing of information can benefit both the individuals and the group of the whole using that application, as well as the creators of the application or the service. And in this paradigm, applications that are able to find ways of better serving their users' needs, rather than profiting from them, exploiting them, or extracting value from them, are likely to find themselves successful.
Yeah, I love the stock versus serve analogies there. I'm looking forward to a world where you win when you serve rather than you win when you come up with the best ways to stalk your users. All right, next question. This is from Fabian Furt. If there is a developer or a small team that creates a project and they want to host their own project on the main net for a while to test it with a small portion of users, how do they do it? Do they have to buy a few Holo ports? David, you want to take that one?
So yeah, the intention is to have holochain run on consumer hardware, and Holo ports are a great way to get up and running with a simple turnkey solution. So yes, you could go and buy a few Holo ports, but if you have an old laptop, you can dig out of the closet, you can download the holochain binary, or even better, self-updating VirtualBox image, and then you can also start hosting. And then it comes down to your needs. If reliable uptime is a concern for your small network, another option is you could go with a cloud-hosted Holoport image. Team could start test hosting non-peer visitors and then iron out any issues by using some of their own machines as hosts. And they could then set their rates for hosting their own application to a really, really low level or even free, which allows them to test things out without having to pay other hosts or incur transaction fees. So yes, absolutely. I think I've outlined a few configurations, both on the machines and technology you will need to use to be able to host, how you can configure the network, how you can configure the fees, and enormous flexibility for small teams starting out.
Okay.
Just to add something really quickly, when you build on Holochain, you can test Holochain between two or multiple installed devices without using Holo. Okay?
Yeah.
That needs to be really clear. So
Oke, ini penting nih. Jadi di sini kan tanya ya, orang itu tanya, kalau saya punya tim nih, pengen bangun aplikasi, lalu aplikasi saya di Holochain itu saya mau hosting sendiri, bisa nggak? Bisa, tentu saya bisa. Kamu hosting sendiri untuk kamu melakukan pengetesan sendiri sampai kamu kayaknya udah oke, sudah yakin, kamu hendak hendak mengembangkan kamu punya aplikasi supaya lebih reliable, ya mungkin kamu bisa menyewa lagi lah beberapa hoster lainnya. Oke. Dan para hoster ini boleh jadi antara mereka yang pakai Holoport ya. Kamu bisa hosting pakai Holoport. Kalau kamu nggak punya Holoport pun kamu bisa pakai komputer kamu sendiri. Oke, komputer kamu sendiri kamu download, dia punya Holo application, kamu udah bisa hosting sendiri juga bisa. Jadi itu saya nggak akan masukkan dalam poin ini karena kayaknya nggak penting ditulis. Cuma yang penting adalah setelah ini ya dia katakannya bahwanya tidak semestinya untuk melakukan pengetesan harus menggunakan Holo. Oke, kita bisa melakukan pengetesan itu tanpa menggunakan Holo juga bisa, kata dia. Cuman ya nanti kita bahas lagi lah tentang bagaimana. Gue mau balik sedikit dan gue akan mulai catat apa yang dia bicarakan ini.
Enormous flexibility for small teams starting out.
Just to add something really quickly, when you build on Holochain, you can test Holochain between two or multiple installed devices without using Holo. Okay, that needs to be really clear. So development teams, when they're creating an application and trying to test it, they can do that internally on a network. They can network any way that they want to connect those devices. And
secara internal antara dua atau lebih.
And test that software. When you install it on Holo, when it gets deployed onto Holo, what you're saying is that you want to make it available to people who are not going to install the Holochain application.
Ya, jadi oke, very good point. Gimana ya? Tapi oke, jadi pertama-tama kan apa aplikasi Holochain dapat dites secara internal antara 2 atau lebih devices tanpa semestinya menggunakan Holo ya. Jadi para developer dapat ngetes tanpa dia harus menggunakan Holo itu sendiri. Tapi jikalau mereka connect-kan ke Holo, maka aplikasi itu akan tersedia kepada end user, kepada publik, kepada publik tanpa harus user itu sendiri mendownload keseluruhan Holochain. Oke, jadi lebih aku harus review lagi tulisan gua ini. Aplikasi Holochain dapat dites internal antara 2 atau lebih device. Oke. Para developer Holochain dapat mengetes proyek mereka secara internal menggunakan 2 atau lebih devices yang terkoneksi. Oke. Tanpa semestinya menggunakan Holo. Tapi jika mereka mengkonekkannya ke Holo, mengkonekkannya ke Holo, maka aplikasi tersebut akan tersedia ke publik tanpa harus user itu sendiri. Gimana tulisnya nih biar lebih enak? Ke publik, di mana user tidak perlu mendownload menjalankan framework holochain untuk mengakses aplikasi tersebut. Oke, akhirnya deh. Ya, ini udah terbaik lah. Ulang ya, repeat. Jadi para developer holochain itu dapat mengetes proyek mereka secara internal menggunakan 2 atau lebih devices yang terkoneksi tanpa semestinya menggunakan holo, oke. Tanpa semestinya menggunakan holo. Tapi jika mereka mau mengkonekkannya kepada holo, maka aplikasi tersebut akan tersedia secara publik, di mana kita sebagai user, sebenarnya saya mau pakai aplikasi yang sudah dibangun dari holochain. Kalau dia udah connect ke holo ya, gua nggak perlu lagi ribet-ribet menjalankan apa segala macam node holochain itu. Oke, jadi kayak mudah kita mengakses internet gitulah intinya. Great point. Berarti ini memperjelas lagi statement yang ini, yang terakhir ini memperjelas lagi apa fungsinya holo. Oke, betapa pentingnya holo kepada end user.
Directly onto one of their devices. It gives you the ability to connect with users that are going to use a web browser and also be part of your application user base and community. That's it. So you can do that by putting it on Holo, and then if you are also a host, because you have any, like as David was saying, you have any type of hardware that's running the Holo software, not the holochain software now.
Holo software.
Then you can host it yourselves. You can choose, essentially make it so that you're choosing yourselves as hosts.
Jadi holochain
or you
software
can
dan holo
choose
software
other
ya
hosts
berbeda.
at various levels based on a set of criteria that you define and say. And that includes how much you want to pay.
Awesome. Thank you both. Next question from the same person. If a developer creates a new app from scratch, how can they get fuel to buy hosting from others? Do they need to pay a fuel broker or buy fuels from fiat money? Any ideas on how to help developers to create more apps as soon as possible? David?
Yep, so a developer doesn't need to buy or use HoloFuel in order to run a holochain application. Their app could simply run on the devices of any of the participating users, whether they're phones or laptops, etc. Just building on what Mary was saying, if they want to serve their app to non-peers that want to access the application through a web browser, once Holo launches, that is the scenario where they want to be using HoloFuel.
Oke, jadi ini mempertegas lagi, poin ini mempertegas lagi tentang holo, perbedaan antara holo dan holochain. Jadi sebenarnya developer, di saat developer hendak membangun aplikasi di atas holochain, mereka tidak butuh holofuels ya, karena ya gratis, karena membangun aplikasi di holochain ialah gratis, nggak usah bayar. Akan tetapi jika mereka hendak aplikasi mereka itu dapat digunakan, apabila mereka hendak aplikasinya itu, gimana tulisnya agak aneh. Jika mereka hendak aplikasinya diakses, ataupun digunakan oleh para user melalui web browser, maka mereka butuh holofuel untuk membayar jasa hosting yang menjalankan software holo. Jadi beda ya, sekali lagi beda. Software holo dengan software holochain is different thing. sip, lanjut.
Pay for the holochain peers that are hosting their app to non-peers. I know that's a bit of technical language, so you've just imagine, just really simplify the scenario, someone who doesn't even know holochain exists accesses your app from a web browser. A holochain node or a holo hosting box is serving that information so that they could access it. And that is when you will be paying for that hosting service in HoloFuel. Now, how do you access HoloFuel? How do you acquire HoloFuel? You could purchase it from others, some that hold HoloFuel, and there'll be ways of acquiring HoloFuel that will be communicating in the future. You could also have purchased Hot, or could purchase Hot now, and then redeem Hot for HoloFuel at an appropriate time. And finally, there's the organic way, which is you could begin by hosting, and when your app is up and running, you could take some of the HoloFuel that you've earned from hosting and redeem it to pay for others hosting your application.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, this question comes from Telegram. Can HoloFuel be earned during the closed alpha testnet? Can hosts set their hosting prices during the closed alpha testnet?
Can they?
Mary, do you want to take this?
So,
I don't know yet.
yeah, certainly.
Okay, nah.
So right now we're not, we've just seen a lot of interest and participation in testing without any incentive other than like what you get and what you learn from doing it at this point. So the closed alpha is going to be using testnet HoloFuel, and it's not really going to hold, it should not hold any value. It's going to be reset multiple times during alpha testing. So we're going to be sharing more explicitly what all is included in the closed alpha testnet and how that testing will go a little bit later in this month. But at this stage, we are not, it's not real HoloFuel that will be in the closed testnet.
Okay, got it. Gak usah tulis.
Great, thank you. Next one is from Reddit. I know that an ROI calculator doesn't exist at the moment. This ROI is short for return on investment. So that a calculator doesn't exist at the moment, though I think one will be created in the future. This is their question. So does anyone have a ballpark estimate of the expected return on investment from each model of the Holo ports in relation to Holochain tokens? Also, I believe that the Holo ports are very low power, so my electric bill shouldn't take too much of a hit, correct?
Very low power, man.
David, you want to take this?
Sure. So yeah, at the moment, we can't really provide estimates on the HoloPort ROI. We can tell you that HoloPorts and earning of HoloFuel is not analogous to proof-of-work mining, where there's a predetermined reward the network pays for computing power. With a HoloPort, the fuel you earn is more like Amazon Web Services, where the return on investment or your return depends on how much customers need hosting and how much competition you have in the provision of that hosting service. But we also know that underlying this question is really, what is the incentive for me as a host early on to participate in this network? Right? And our model, and you would have heard potentially and others talk about the HoloFuel currency design. The model is to incentivize the early adopters in what will there be their participation in a long-term productive economy. So at an early stage, if you earn HoloFuel, then over time, we expect the price of HoloFuel to change. It may be up, may be down, but if you're holding HoloFuel for a period of time, as the economy is building, we expect prices to change. Over time, like you've heard us talk about the economic design of the HoloFuel, we expect a very vibrant, productive economy around distributed hosting. And the world market will set a really stable price for the provision of that hosting. So when you're earning HoloFuel very early, the purchasing power of the HoloFuel as it moves into this stable, productive economy will be different. And that's where we see the incentives for early hosts. It's a bit like, in thinking about it, the early hosts in Airbnb were able to charge more for their houses, but as the productive economy around distributed housing has come into being, the price has dropped to a fairly comparable citywide level. And just jumping onto the electric bill and should it take a hit or not, absolutely correct. Your electric bill shouldn't take too much of a hit. A Holo port will use as much electricity as a light bulb.
Light bulb. Aduh. Oke, jadi orang nanya tentang ROI ya. Berapa return, kapan bisa ROI, kapan return of investment saya bisa balik modal gitu. Kapan bisa balik modal nih Holo port, oke. Nah, dikarenakan holochain ini kan nggak seperti blockchain. Kalau blockchain itu kan ada semacam block reward, block time, gini kan. Jadi nggak bisa ada jawabannya. ROI holoport tidak ada jawabannya. Karena kamu mau balik modal atau nggak balik modal itu tergantung dengan seberapa banyak permintaan customer, seberapa banyak customer yang bondong-bondong mau pakai jasa hosting, dan tergantung juga persaingan antara para hoster, oke. Cumanya di sini perlu dicatatkan bahwanya kalau Holo port itu sendiri, mesinnya itu sendiri itu sebenarnya nggak memakan banyak listrik. Kayak kamu nyalain bola lampu gitu aja listrik. Ya iya sih, memang sangat iri sih gua tengok dia punya spek ya. Seharusnya untung lah, untung sih harus untung, namanya bisnis ya, mana mungkin mau bisnis rugi kan. Untung cuma pasti untung. Cumanya kapan ROI ya kita nggak tahu. Eksperimen lah, kita eksperimen sendiri. Gimana tulis nih biar lebih enak. Dikarenakan holochain bukan seperti itu, maka kita tidak bisa memprediksi kapan mesin holoport kita dapat balik modal. Tapi hal yang patut diperhatikan ialah kos listrik holoport tidak seharusnya murah ya, karena ia cuman memakan daya yang kecil ya, seperti kita menyalakan bola lampu. Oke, lanjut.
Approximately energy use and cost based on the average electricity cost is 12 cents per kilowatts per hour.
Yeah, 12 cents per kilowatt hour is the average US electricity cost. Cool. 10. How can hosts calculate the potential earning for holoports? It's kind of similar to the previous question. Where do I find information on how the hosting earning is calculated? You want to take this one also, David?
Yeah, I'll just jump on it. I would say that, like, building on the response I gave before, if this is the kind of thing you're interested in, we really encourage you to get in touch with the community. So whether it's through a Mattermost channel, whether it's through Telegram, reach out to admins, reach out to other members of the community, and start building the answers for these questions yourselves. Start thinking about adoption of holoports, or thinking about building your own holoports. But really, if you're asking this question, what you're really asking is, well, how can I participate in this, what we think is long-term, incredibly new, exciting, productive economy? How can I be one of the early adopters in a way that suits me? So we encourage you to just get involved.
Yeah, and I'll just add a touch there, which is, we can't tell you what it's going to be. Any calculation we make would be speculative, right? It may actually be illegal for us to make predictions like that. You'll earn this much. I don't want to say that sort of thing. Because we can't predict the future in a market that's going to be dynamic. And to do so would put us in jeopardy legally. All right, 11.
Tunggu. Segala bentuk kalkulasi ialah spekulasi. Ya, karena market itu berdinamika, oke. Jadi kita harus eksperimenkan sendiri. Oke, ya no choice ya. Bahkan kalau dia kasih kalkulasi nanti masuk penjara mereka. Lagipun segala bentuk kalkulasi ROI itu ialah bersifat, karena market itu berdinamika, tidak statik ya. Jadi kita harus eksperimenkan sendiri. Yap, next.
I have some questions about the mass adoption of the holochain network. Will governments and the big institutions want or allow everything to stop flowing through their servers? Don't they prefer to control what we see? Won't big tech institutions want to try and squash Holo so they can keep their big central servers?
Oh, good question.
This is from Reddit. It very much sounds like it's from Reddit. Mary, can you give us your take on that?
Definitely. Well, I just want to say that part of our scenario planning has included a lot of the stops or slowdown measures that could be taken by companies, governments, or other institutions. I mean, we have to be considering some of those things. And as with really any innovative tech, you get to fly under the radar somewhat, you know, in the early days, and we know that. And then, you hit a certain level of adoption, and there's going to be challenges made by those who benefit from the status quo. That's just to be expected. It's sort of like the trajectory of startups. To a degree, you know, we're going to look at those challenges coming in as big wins, because it'll mean that we've actually garnered the influence, the momentum that really requires, you know, kind of that tipping point where people notice you. And it's a tipping point to us that people are moving towards software that's distributed. So that's fantastic. But kind of to go further into what's being asked here, I think the adoption, we actually think that adoption of, or by some of these actual institutions themselves, may also happen, right? A good example might be how with GDPR in Europe, because Holochain actually enables a lot of what GDPR is trying to accomplish in a legal way. We do it in an architectural, structural way. So companies might use Holochain, for example, as a gateway into other applications because of this, ensuring that their users are in control of their identities and their own personal information, and then connecting into other apps that aren't necessarily Holochain apps. In a nutshell, we know challenges are going to come. We're planning as much as we can for them. Yes. I'm not going to go obviously into all the details of different ones, but our expectation is that these are not going to be insurmountable. Our belief is that we will have answers to them. Some of them are more obvious, and some of them we're going to miss, and we're going to hit some things that are ahas, and that's okay. That's what doing business and making a difference in the world looks like.
Okay.
Thanks, Mary.
Okay, jadi interesting. Pertanyaannya ialah, apakah pemerintahan ataupun perusahaan-perusahaan teknologi besar bisa bagaimana ya iri sama mereka, iri sama Holochain gitu ya, membuat mereka menjadi lambat bekerja ataupun memusnahkan mereka. Oke, jadi sebenarnya hal seperti ini terus mereka pertimbangkan ya dalam rencana-rencana mereka ya, dan tentu saya tidak mungkin bisa dia bahas satu persatu karena beda-beda solution gitu loh. Dan dikarenakan ini bersifat desentralisasi, tentu saja tidak semudah kayak orang menutup perusahaan besar gitu. Perusahaan yang bersifat sentral ya, nggak semudah itu. Dan walau bagaimanapun juga dia bilang ya, sebenarnya Holochain ini dibangun itu cocok loh sama apa itu, ada GDPR, aku pun nggak ngerti apa itu. Kayaknya di Eropa itu kan ada satu ketentuan tentang hak privacy berinternet kan. apa namanya kemarin sempat heboh GD, saya mungkin salah sebut lah, host Google lah ya, entah apa sebutan pentingnya, sepertinya berbunyi seperti GPDR gitulah. Jadi sebenarnya holochain ini cocok ya dari segi legalitas pada sisi tersebut. Jadi malahan dia pikir para perusahaan besar, para company besar itu malahan akan menggunakan holochain sebagai gateway, sebagai pintu gerbang untuk mengkoneksikannya kepada aplikasi-aplikasi lain. Nggak semestinya harus aplikasi holochain ya, mungkin aplikasi yang bukan holochain. Jadi orang akan memanfaatkan holochain ini kata dia. Jadi seperti itu lebih kurangnya. Coba dia mau tulis gimana saya mau tulis dan poin ini ya. Bingung. Dikarenakan aku harus Google lah GPDR itu gimana, maksudnya apa. Tunggu, aku buka dulu ya GPDR. Oh ini GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. Dikarenakan arsitektur dikarenakan arsitektur holochain sebenarnya sejalan ya dengan GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. Jadi tidak menutup kemungkinan besar ya. Tidak menutup kemungkinan besar justru akan ada justru perusahaan besar. Jadi tidak menutup kemungkinan besar akan memanfaatkan holochain sebagai gateway kepada solusi desentralisasi yang mengkoneksikannya kepada aplikasi-aplikasi yang sudah ada. Saya baca ulang lagi. Sebenarnya kalau kita perhatikan dengan teliti, sebenarnya kalau kita perhatikan dengan teliti, arsitektur holochain itu sejalan dengan GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. Jadi tidak menutup kemungkinan justru perusahaan-perusahaan besar akan di kemudian hari akan memanfaatkan holochain sebagai gateway kepada solusi desentralisasi yang mengkoneksikannya dan menghubungkannya kepada aplikasi sudah ada. Oke, bukan seperti itu. Bagus, great, next.
I will add just one thing for folks who aren't familiar. GDPR is a specific regulation in Europe having to do with data privacy. It's the General Data Privacy Regulation. And it's led to some shifts worldwide because the internet is global. You've probably had to click through some agreement things over the last year having to do with updated terms of service on a whole bunch of different websites or companies. that all had to do with GDPR.
GDPR.
It's shifted the landscape, the legal landscape, with regard to how companies hold on to information. And it's shifting that in a way that more closely aligns with some of the stuff that we're doing with Holochain. Not that we're perfectly aligned, or not that we were driven by that in any way. It just happens to, because it's trying to protect users, and so are we, we're sort of pointed in the same direction. Next question. How does Holochain address the problems of Sybil attacks, 51% attacks, and malicious nodes? Would the team conduct testing or provide a demonstration video to prove that Holochain is resistant to those various attacks?
Yeah,
I'll take this one. For those who aren't familiar, Sybil attacks have to do with an ability to spin up fake nodes, like imaginary users, lots of them, and then build some kind of positive reputation or attack a system. So it's this, hey, are you able to fraudulently establish reputation in some way? 51% attacks are specific to blockchain. They're really relevant for architectures that use a central ledger, a la blockchain. With Holochain, majority control, meaning 51% control over the network, can only ever be successful in fooling some people some of the time, and only in limited ways. Marking bad data as good, marking good data as bad, failing to produce or store entries in our shared storage that you're responsible for, controlling new participants' view of the DHT. None of these have the ability to totally corrupt the experience of honest agents. They just force them to do more work to get assurances of trustworthiness. Although controlling new participants' views of the distributed hash table or our shared storage could be quite effective depending on how a particular app is designed. Sybil attacks, the consequences of Sybil attacks are different for every DHT network or Holochain style network. For some, guarantees of true personhood are important but easy to do. Consider a Holochain based next door, where you have to submit a picture of yourself standing in front of your door holding a paper that has the last 10 digits of your public key. Your peers can see the photo, check it against your actual public key, and grant you access. But for others, the consequences of improperly designed identity verification could be catastrophic, either because they enable the kinds of majority disruption described above, or because they allow phishing attacks or other sorts of frauds. With regard to malicious nodes, it depends on the kind of malice. For producing invalid data or spurious warrants, warrants are our mechanism for letting other people know, hey, somebody's done something bad.
Oh my goodness,
so
man,
spurious
very high
warrants would be,
technical loh. Waduh, pecah kepala. Oke, jadi ngomong-ngomong tentang bagaimana mereka bisa menangkis serangan-serangan sekuritas lah, kayak civil attack lah, 51% attack lah, dan segala macam attack lah. Nah, cumannya ada 2 poin penting yang saya nggak mau, yang saya bisa simpulkan aja, karena kalau kita bahas terlalu dalam, gua pun bisa pusing membahas ini ya. Pertama poinnya ialah Holochain bukan blockchain. Jadi kalau 51% attack, dalam perspektif Holochain itu agak berbeda konsepnya dengan perspektif di blockchain. Dan poin kedua ialah mereka ada solusi semuanya ya terhadap serangan-serangan tersebut. Oke, sudah ada solusi, sudah ada langkah penanganannya, gini. Berarti ya oke lah ya, ada solusi pokoknya, kayak itulah intinya. Seharusnya tidak mempan. Karena Secara technical. Oke, sangat-sangat sekuritas seperti civil attack, 51% attack dan lain sebagainya tidak mempan terhadap holochain karena setiap permasalahan sekuritas tersebut sudah ada solusi penanganannya. Penanganannya. Oh my goodness. Oh, kayak gini kata. Sudah ada penanganannya. Oke. Jadi saya tidak mau menggali terlalu mendalam karena jawabannya sangat teknikal sekali, bukan sangat teknikal tapi sangat teknikal sekali. Wow. Oke, lanjut.
Mary has done something that's totally appropriate, totally fine, and I'm going, she's behaving badly, right? So that would be me acting malicious. In those kinds of instances, honest nodes would put the bad actors into their block lists. They would note for themselves, hey, this person's been acting not nice, they're not playing by the rules. For all the kinds of mischief that I described under majority attacks, which also pertain to small groups of bad actors. The difference is scale of impact, not type of impact. I'm guessing that a combination of the self-healing properties of a distributed hash table will filter out all that stuff.
Ada self-healing
so
properties.
In the short
lagi.
term, we'll employ defenses that are established by, this for Holo, we will employ defenses that are established by some Cloudflare style infrastructure for some types of malicious node attacks. In the long term, as we decentralize some proxying processes, we'll employ methods to efficiently scan traffic flowing through those nodes for known bad actors, malicious patterns, etc. Each node will also have its own defenses, such as temporary bans on DDoS or distributed denial of service attacker IP addresses. So that's a lot of technical stuff. This was a fairly technical question, but I want to make clear a couple of things. Holo chain is designed to be a peer-to-peer thing, where the members of that community are agreeing to sets of rules that they feel comfortable playing by. Those rules should include some things like, hey, how do we deal with bad actors? Holo, the organization, we're not going to take responsibility for taking actions against malicious nodes inside of your community. In fact, we might not even know that your community exists, right, if it's running just as a peer-to-peer thing. But when you are running things through Holo, we may be trying to provide some help in identifying malicious actors. That's sort of a favor that we're attempting to do, but we're not going to take responsibility for managing the integrity of a sovereign community. We don't think it's our role, nor do we think it's right. So again, it's up to the communities that run their distributed hash tables to make decisions about how they actually handle unwanted actions and agents.
Okay.
Any additional comments there? That was, I know, really deep in the weeds. No? Okay. Next question from Telegram and WeChat, Chinese WeChat. Can holoports be connected to the internet wirelessly? David, you want to take this?
Wirelessly?
Yep, this is a popular one. So the simple answer is it is technically possible, but not a supported configuration.
Oke, jadi secara teknikal holoport dapat terkoneksi secara wireless wifi ya ke internet, oke. Akan tetapi pada sisi konfigurasi mesinnya ia tidak mendukung hal tersebut. Wah, ada orang apa nih ngelas bau banget, bau yang terbakar gitu. Ntar tutup dulu. Ngelas, ada orang minta tetangga atau di mana itu tukang-tukang ngelas besi atau ngelas apa, nyong. Oke, jadi secara teknikal Hotpot dapat bisa terkoneksi secara wireless ke internet, akan tetapi pada sisi konfigurasi mesinnya ia tidak mendukung hal tersebut.
On the Holo pod, and we're providing support for Ethernet connections, and this is why.
Yeah.
One of the main characteristics and value of hosting is resource availability, uptime. So it makes sense for people who want to host through a Holo pod and have made the investment in the Holo pod and the time and effort to connect and be part of the network, that they have a hardware connection that increases the chance of uptime and availability. If you start connecting with Wi-Fi, you introduce one other risk factor in your connection, and the overall quality of the network will likely degrade due to typical Wi-Fi signal loss. So, free to use any setup you want, but we would strongly recommend and most likely only support users connecting through Ethernet.
And for those who aren't super technical, Ethernet means a plug,
Yeah,
a cable, not wireless. All right, next, can a normal Android app use Holo hosting? Mary, do you want to try to take this one?
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, yes. Our main focus on Holo is really connecting web browsers to holochain applications.
Nggak fokus.
Use Holo hosting.
Degrade due to typical Wi-Fi signal loss. So, free to use any setup you want, but we would strongly recommend and most likely only support users connecting through Ethernet.
Oke, tunggu, balik, tunggu. Tetapi pada sisi konfigurasi default mesinnya yaitu Ethernet, ia tidak mau tersebut. Lebih direkomendasi untuk tidak wireless lah. Yaitu menggunakan Ethernetnya. Oke. Plug and play. Menggunakan kabel. Ya, seperti itulah.
And for those who aren't super technical, Ethernet means a plug.
Karena kalau pakai wireless kamu harus di-grade. Entah dia bilang tadi kan di-grade dia punya mesin itu mungkin lah ya bisa kayak semacam merusak gitu atau mengganggu dia punya konektivitas, lebih kurang seperti itu.
Plug, a cable, not wireless. All right, next, can a normal Android app use Holo hosting? Mary, do you want to try to take this one?
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, yes. Our main focus on Holo is really connecting web browsers to holochain applications. But the code libraries that we're writing to support the work is going to be directly usable on mobile devices, either through a web browser app or as an embedded web view in a native app. It just really depends on how people design and build their applications. We're also planning on building mobile versions of the core holochain code so that application...
Penting. Aplikasi tentu saja bisa dijalankan di mobile apps ya. Aplikasi yang dibangun di atas holochain tentu saja bisa berjalan di mobile devices, oke. Tapi tergantung juga ya bagaimana para developer itu merancang apps-nya sendiri, oke. Dan bahkan code apa nih, holochain code, holochain core ya, code adoy holochain core code, balik sedikit lah ya, ini penting loh yang apa nih,
how people design and build their applications. We're also planning on building mobile versions of the core holochain code.
Mobile version of holochain core. Holochain core versi mobile sedang dalam proses rancangan. sedang dirancang. Akan tersedia dalam versi mobile. Oke. Balik sedikit supaya nggak salah dengar.
It's going to be directly usable on mobile devices, either through a web browser app or as an embedded web view in a native app. It just really depends on how people design and build their applications. We're also planning on building mobile versions of the core holochain code so that applications can natively interact with the network. That's
supaya apa? Aplikasi dapat berinteraksi dengan network holochain. Aduh, ya.
Holochain code so that as an embedded web view in a native app. It just really depends on how people design and build their applications. We're also planning on building mobile versions of the core holochain code so that applications can natively interact with the network. That's all part of the plan.
Awesome, thank you. Next question, will Holochain launch a satellite so they can stream payment from cell phones? I'll take this one.
Wow.
We have no plans at present to launch satellites to enable phone payments. In fact, one of the nice things about Holochain-based currencies is that payment systems and other applications can be designed that function well despite network partitions. So you can have just, people in your building. You can do some Bluetooth interaction with them, and then later others in the network can recognize that. So no, we're not planning to launch a satellite network. Next. Next question. IOTA gives me hope that there is an emerging pragmatic awareness of the binary blinders and remedies on the back end. How do you anticipate Holo embracing the ternary renaissance? Okay, this is a super geeky question. For those who are not familiar, this deals with binary ones and zeros, and ternary, a different system that has -1, 0, 1. So there's sort of 3 options for a bit. Just to be clear, and IOTA uses ternary. We're not focusing on ternary at present, because almost all hardware today that exists in the world and all networking systems are built for binary. We're trying to take a pragmatic approach in most things, and wishing that the world were different than it currently is doesn't make it so. There are some folks who find ternary to be really interesting for mathematical reasons and certain types of functions faster or easier, but that's not the world that we live in, so we're not focused on building for that. No, we're not focusing on ternary at present. Okay, next question. For those rare cases when global consensus is necessary, which is an assumption I'm going to point out, but that's how they're framing it. Have you looked into a hash graph-like mechanism, minding their patent, of course, for reaching global consensus in a distributed fashion?
But Holochain no consensus.
No. Nope, we're not doing that. End of story. We challenge that global consensus is necessary. There may be some instances. No, we're not looking to implement a hash graph-like mechanism for those cases.
Okay.
Next question. Do you guys know David Schwartz.
Siapa itu?
David Schwartz is a cryptographer that works with Ripple. Will you be taking Ripple's business away because Holo does it better? David, you want to take this?
Well, we have quite a few people on our team, and I think a few people on our team are pretty well connected. So maybe someone knows David. I'm not sure, but I don't know him personally. We know that Ripple is narrowly focused on payments.
Okay.
Holo is focused on hosting peer-to-peer applications so that non-peers can interact with them. So yes, we have a crypto accounting solution, Holo Fuel, that we've designed to foster this hosting ecosystem, and it enables very high volumes of transactions at a very low cost.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to make a prediction right now about how Holo might mature and how that might impact Ripple, because our focus is building great tech and an amazing, vibrant holochain ecosystem, not on figuring out how that might impact other businesses.
Oke.
Awesome, thank you.
Ya, jadi ini agak lucu. Karena ada orang beranggapan bahwanya kemarin kan AMA yang 21 kita kan kayak semacam Ethereum versus Holochain gitu kan. Tapi dalam AMA 22 ini Holochain versus Ripple juga. Sebenarnya orang itu nggak berani lah. Ya maklum aja lah, mana berani berprediksi, orang itu berprediksi gini-gini kak susah pula. Tapi ya ada lah rumor-rumor. Ada rumor-rumor ya Ripple mungkin bisa sedikit gitu-gitu lah ya, gini ya karena ada Holo gitu. Udah stop sampai situ aja, lanjut.
Okay, next question. Search engines index and rank websites by IP addresses. If it will be possible to host websites, what IP address will show for these websites on Holochain?
Yeah. Good question.
Mary, can you take this one?
Okay, just to be clear, I got an answer from one of our developers on this one. So, yes, that definitely is. There's going to be two options for Holo. Either way, the base load of the site is going to be static. It is going to be in JavaScript, going to run connecting to the Holochain network that's going to download the UI information. The default option is that Holo is going to host a stub static site. So it will be an IP address owned by holo.org, but app developers can do their own hosting and still include the holo.js. So this is going to be an option that they will have with their content, and whether or not they want to embed a smaller portion of Holo functionality, in which case it would be their IP address. I'm not sure if all that made sense, but what we're going to do is we're going to take this question and give it over to our developer FAQs and make sure that we get this one written down and included in some of the next documentation.
Okay, see
Thanks,
you.
Mary. Next question. How is Holochain going to get adoption going in this project? But how are you going to get everyone on board, especially people who don't even know what blockchain is or anything about Holochain? All right. How are we going to get adoption? Anybody?
I can jump in quickly, and we've talked about that question a few times on the last AMA, and but I'd say if you look just fundamentally at our approach of building Holochain, as Mary described, this framework for distributed applications, and then building Holo on top of Holochain as a way for people to access distributed applications through their web browsers, you can see that we're focused on meeting people, users where they are, and then bringing them towards what we think is going to be a world where, as we talked about earlier, where you're able to use your data better, you're able to have positive and more vibrant and healthy relationships between users and application owners. So our entire focus of how we're expecting the long-term adoption of distributed applications to happen is not by just saying we'll build some fantastic tech and people will come to it, but actually building technology that helps people find people where they are today and draws them towards something over time. So that would, I'd say that our focus is building technology that connects to where people are today and draws them into applications that make a difference in their lives. I'll just set at that more meta level today's answer, because I think there's enough responses to specifics where we see certain applications, certain industries, and all sorts of things that we expect to drive adoption. We haven't answered the question in that way.
Nggak ada yang penting, udah dibahas. Nggak mau.
Thank you. Next question.
Tunggu. Jadi dia cuma ngomong tentang adaptasi tadi ya, bagaimana pendapat mereka sebagai tim Holochain ini bisa diadaptasi secara massal. Jadi yang ngomong lagi lah yang sudah kita bahas sebelum-belumnya, yaitu intinya ya, singkatnya ialah dikarenakan Holochain itu adalah framework untuk membangun aplikasi, sedangkan Holo itu adalah membawa aplikasi Holochain kepada end user secara mudah, maka secara langsung ini sudah bisa menarik perhatian orang-orang di luar sana yang nggak kenal tentang blockchain, nggak kenal tentang Holochain ya. Apalagi terlebih lagi seorang pengguna itu dapat mengkontrol data mereka sendiri. Jadi menghasilkan sebuah hubungan yang sehat lah antara pengguna dengan aplikasi. Seperti itu. Kayaknya udah mau
end here. If a user connects to a app via browser and Holo, where will the keys be stored? Will the user only be able to connect via that computer? Mary, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so this is really important. It's a great question, actually. So when users connect via a browser, the keys are not going to be stored. They are literally going to be generated every time you log in using a...
Oke, jadi saat user berkoneksi, berinteraksi lah dengan aplikasi Holochain, kuncinya itu ya, kunci user itu tidak ayo ini harus balik lagi nih karena agak teknikal. Melalui web browser, maka kuncinya user itu tidak tersimpan.
The keys are not going to be stored. They are literally going...
Tidak tersimpan, tidak store lah, tidak tersimpan. Karena
going to be generated every time you log in using a password hashing scheme.
Karena key-nya akan selalu digenerasikan pada saat Anda login menggunakan sangat teknikal, password hashing scheme. Wow. Okay.
So you can log in from a new browser so long as you remember that password.
Jadi Anda dapat login ya yang penting passwordnya.
It's really important.
Yes, very important.
Yeah, and our dev team has been jumping through some hoops, inventing some really interesting tech to make it so that that system is very difficult to attack. More difficult to attack than a normal password-based system might be. In part because people just come up with dumb passwords. And we're trying to make it harder for folks to guess keys without having to require a lot from users themselves.
Okay.
25. Let's see. Things are jumping around on me. Did you already test Holochain on Holoports? Are there any difficulties or major problems? Mary, do you want to take this one as well?
So yes, we've been actually testing prototypes of Holoports for quite a while now, and we're going to be continuing to test them through each of our cycles for our test nets. But we are feeling very good about where we are for the upcoming releases.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds
wonderful.
Positive.
And since we're basically running out of time,
finally
unless
done.
There's another question that either David or Mary are burning to answer.
Berapa menit dah nih?
Haven't looked ahead.
Quick. I'll give you guys just a few seconds to see if there's something that you're like, ooh, that's one I want to take on.
Ayo, ada apa lagi? Come on.
These are getting really technical today. I think we can probably capture a lot of these in some written FAQs a little bit later this week. So
we'll leave them be. Okay, we covered a ton of ground today, including some very technical stuff, some currency-oriented stuff, et cetera, some org-oriented stuff. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I just want to say thank you once again. Tremendous gratitude to our community leaders, volunteers, contributors, and organizers. We wouldn't be able to do this without those folks. We are trying to grow an ecosystem, not just an organization. That's a very different way of thinking about growth than most corporate entities out there. And that is very much dependent on the passion and the effort of our community participants of every form. So until next time, thank you very much. Again, I'm Matthew Schutte.
Mary Camacho.
David Atkinson, happy golden pig year.
Quick note, everybody, we're going to be back doing AMAs now every 3 weeks. If you've seen the schedule, I don't know if that's been posted anywhere, but I think that's important to say. And in the coming weeks, we're going to be talking a lot on the blog about what is happening with Holo, like how Holo works and what you can expect in the closed testnet.
Oke.
Wonderful. Until next time.
Oke, dadah. Jadi dia bilang upcoming weeks ya akan apa namanya nih? Aduh, tunggu aku lagi tulis ini dulu tuh sebentar. Upcoming weeks akan banyak postingan blog tentang bagaimana Holo berfungsi, bagaimana Holo bekerja, karena mereka kan sudah mau memasuki yang namanya sebentar. Yang namanya apa nih? Yang namanya testnet. Oke, test closed testnet sudah mau hadir. Jadi akan banyak postingan seperti itu, dan AMA seperti ini akan dilakukan lah setiap 3 minggu sekali kata dia. Oke, jadi gue punya catatan pun sudah selesai. Kayaknya sudah cantik lah nih ya. Banyak loh hari ini. Lebih baik dari yang kemarin. Ya, jadi saya akan scroll secara pelan-pelan catatan ini dari atas sampai bawah. Kok mantau apa nih viewers ya, teman-teman sekalian yang males. Kan kadang kan mereka langsung aja skip belakangnya, kalian bisa tengok pelan-pelan nih. Saya akan scroll pelan-pelan ke bawah. Dari intro ya, pengumuman dia, lalu ada poin-poin pentingnya. Oke. Terus scroll. Scroll. Dan selesai sampai sini. Oke, jadi ini akan saya copy and paste ke dalam apa nih, Google Drive gua. Linknya ada di deskripsi box. Nanti kalian bisa baca. Semua ini catatan ini ada di situ juga sih. Oke, dadah. Sekian dari saya. Jumpa lagi.